Number 3, Arsenal FC, another new look roster for them, going up against Schalke 04, who have made a slight tweak as well after both clubs having a bit of a disappointing 1920 season. Manchester United, unchanged, have the task of introducing Galatasaray to the league. That's obviously a massive game. And then, again, another new look Barcelona, a team built around De Palma, will be hoping that they can get their campaign off against AS Roma with a win as well. More newcomers there, not only on Barcelona, but then, of course, some familiar faces for AS Roma as well. So some tremendous games all today, huge clubs throughout the eFootball.Pro League, and every game means absolutely everything to these players.
Yeah, absolutely. Some huge clubs, some huge players. Also intriguing to see how some of the newcomers do fare in this season. We're going to actually, I believe, go and take a quick look at some of the behind the scenes of some of the players and how they're preparing for this match day. What's running through their heads, Harry? How are they focusing? Because it is a bit different this year. They're not live from the studio. They are kind of all around the globe and playing this sort of in an online experience almost. What are they doing? What are they thinking?
Well, it's almost a foreign concept to some of these players, isn't it, that are so used to travelling out to Barcelona to play in these match days. You have sometimes a travel day. Some players travel on the same day and then have to go straight to the studio, straight to warming up and warming up in the match room and then going onto the stage and actually playing. Like you say, completely different. They're either playing from home or playing from training facilities, so not as much travel involved. That might benefit some players who maybe got a little bit nervous in the eFootball.Pro studios last year, and also Adam, might benefit some of the players that were competing in the eFootball Open last season who have now graduated into the eFootball.Pro program. We'll be seeing some of them obviously later on today. So those players used to playing at home, used to competing in this type of environment, might benefit from that.
Absolutely. Now, the time has come to turn our attention to the first game of the day, and it is the titanic giant that is Bayern Munich, who, of course, won eFootball.Pro Cup last year, versus another powerhouse in Juventus. Let's take a quick look at the teams.
Another season, another tough game, especially Juventus. Yeah, they are one of the title contenders. So let's see. Gonna be every game like a final. We will try to do our best. It is true that each time the opponents are getting stronger and stronger, and we need to keep developing our skills. So let's see.
Will be a great match, maybe a fire match with Bayern Munich, the winner of eFootball.Pro Cup this summer. So we're training a lot in these weeks for doing a good presentation in this new season, and we will try to of course win and become at the beginning and start well the season.
Right, so word in the ear is we are ready to rock and roll with the first game, Bayern Munich versus Juventus, and we'll talk more on that in a second, Harry. Let's see that right now. So, Harry, we have the obviously team lineups that are being put together right now. We touched beforehand about Bayern Munich, what they did last season, being able to conquer the cup competition. But Juventus, this is a real into the fire situation for them as well. A massive club, massive players. Eterito, for example, joined by Luca Tubelli, and Lo Scandalo joining from FC Nantes, I believe. Two huge teams.
Two huge teams, yeah. Two title contending teams. I expect to see both of these clubs at the top end of the table come the end of the regular season. We can see the players here obviously a little bit tentative, still talking over tactics here and there. But I like how Alex Alguacil of Bayern München said, every game for us is a cup final. I think that's the type of mentality you have to have in this kind of, like you said, a bit of a Shark Tank environment, a bit of a, really gauntlet, high-level gameplay competition. You have to treat every game like you have to win it, and that's something I absolutely love about Bayern München, and Alex Alguacil is installing that mentality into his Bayern München team. But like you said, Eterito on the other side, a real household name. Il Distratore was really finding some form in the eFootball.Pro Cup in the summer as well. And then, of course, Lo Scandalo, I believe he was one of the few players last season to actually take home a match ball thanks to a hat-trick on a match day. So I certainly remember crowning him and giving him a match ball last season, and that was a particular highlight from me. So hopefully he can continue his fine goal-scoring form this season with Juventus, and, well, hopefully we have fireworks here in this first match.
Absolutely. Of course, Bayern Munich have a long history together, the three, Alex, Jose and Mestre as well. Juventus, on the other hand, they have the new La Scandalo join up to partner Eterito and Luca Tubelli, but they've played so much together, those two. Do you think they can join together as a trio in this competition and perform at the highest level?
Well, I mean, they were getting it done last season, weren't they? They were, as we said before, up in the top end of the league table after match day 5, so they certainly seem to have found their feet in the regular season, and also in the eFootball.Pro Cup. They were unfortunate not to get further than they did there. So if we know Eterito like we do, we expect him to put the foot on the gas early on, and he expects the very best from his teammates here on Juventus.
Absolutely, and it is Juventus who start on the front foot, and they force the first corner of the match. A lovely break down the left-hand side. They switch play out towards Cuadrado by the looks of things, and then hooked goalwards, deflected up and out for a corner. Be interesting to see tactics for this. We know Juventus last season had quite a few things up their sleeve from corners. I remember one going in towards the near post, and Eterito scored a stunning goal. Let's see if they can do something similar here as Chiesa steps up, plays it short towards Khedira, and it's in towards the danger area. Oh, what a shot. Blocked and through to Manuel Neuer. First real chance, Harry.
Start of the training ground routines, isn't it, from Juventus? Like you said, they practice so well. On the other side as well, Bayern München, I seem to remember lots of throw-in, orchestrated, sort of choreographed plays from those type of situations. So two very tactically sound teams. Hearing from our pundit, actually, Weza, from last season, saying that both teams going with a 3 at the back. Very, very brave from both teams. Maybe a statement of intent for them going forwards and hoping to attack the other. But so far, Juventus, the better of the two.
Yeah, of course, playing with 3 at the back enables an extra player in the midfield, and it's worked absolutely sensationally for Juventus straight out of the gates, and it's 1-0 to the Italian Giants. It'd be interesting to see who actually got the final touch, but Bayern Munich started quite defensively. They were looking to soak up a lot of pressure, but unfortunately the pressure is told.
Absolutely. Dream start for Juventus. Bayern München not really had a sniff of the ball so far. We can see it here. It's Cristiano Ronaldo who's able to just pass it off to Paulo Dybala. A bit of a mistake there at the back, a stumble, and, well, the Argentine is the man in position to tuck it home, and it's business as usual for Juventus. Not getting ahead of themselves. Still lots of PES to be played here, of course, on match day 1. This is the first of 2 games, but a really nice start from the Italians.
Yeah, and it really plays into Juventus' hands because they tend to play very fast out of the gates, look to get that early goal, then they can afford to just sit back and hit on the counter-attack, whereas Bayern Munich are almost the reverse. They're quite measured. They don't rush out of the gates. They sort of ease their way into a lot of the matches they've played, but now they've got to change that game plan and come out on the front foot as Thomas Müller tries to play it in towards Art, but hooked away, and yeah. It's been a fantastic start from Juventus. How will the game continue from here? Of course, possession is a key for Bayern Munich often. That's a poor header and out of play for a throw.
Was Lo Scandalo the man who I said was one of the few to receive a match ball last season? He opens the scoring in the eFootball.Pro season this year. Wonderful, wonderful showing from from that man right there. And, well, Juventus, they look in control here, Adam.
Yeah, they've got the bit between their teeth, and as you mentioned, Lo Scandalo, there were question marks asked, not because of his quality, but possibly maybe a personality thing. You know, how would he connect with the other two who have played so much together? But he's performing very, very well at the start of this match, 20 minutes in, and he is looking like a real danger as Thomas Müller hooks this one away, and it's all hands on deck for Bayern Munich, just trying to keep the score down at the moment.
Yeah, you wonder at what point, Adam, do they maybe think about ditching this three at the back setup? And so far, Juventus putting so much pressure on them. I'm not sure they have the bodies back to deal with it as Juventus come again.
He's in again here. Saved by Manuel Neuer. I'll cut you off because it's a chance omitted at the moment as Cuadrado played it in towards the danger area, and somehow the German giant of a goalkeeper managed to palm the ball away with his strong right hand. But Chiesa's in here. Offside flag goes up, and rightly so, but really, really dangerous times here for the Germans, and they need to wake up here. Otherwise, they could be facing a first defeat after just one game.
Well, the benefit, of course, is that we are still in the first game. 26 minutes gone. I mean, we still have a decent amount of game to be played here in the first half, but so far a bit uncharacteristic from the Spaniards controlling the Bavarian side. We were so often to see them seeing them just sort of control the game and use possession to their advantage, but so many lackluster passes, just not looking at their best so far. You'd expect to see much more tighter and sharper passing from them if they want to have success here.
Absolutely, as the ball's played down towards Arp again, a lot of Bayern Munich's play is coming down this right-hand side. Not sure whether this is something they've been working on in the closed season, but it definitely seems to be what they've been practicing so far in this match anyway. Just half an hour gone. Like you said, that is the only benefit of this start from Bayern Munich, is the fact that we are only still at 1-0. And of course, the old cliche, when you're just the one goal in it, there's always a chance, and they have a long time to go. They are just starting to grow into the game, though, but they've got to be so careful of this Juventus counter-attack as Dybala picks it up again. He's got support from that man there, Cristiano Ronaldo, back towards the Colombian Cuadrado, and now Dybala, they're linking up beautifully. It's Ronaldo for number 2, a stunning counter-attacking goal, and it's exactly what we were saying, Harry. They have to be so careful after conceding that first goal, because it plays right into the Juventus counter-attacking hands.
I believe it's Lo Scandalo, the finisher here again for Juventus. We'll get a confirmation in just a moment, but they double their lead before half-time. I mean, you called it perfectly, a counter-attack, isn't it? Look at the space that Lo Scandalo here controlling Cristiano Ronaldo is afforded. You just need to get tighter to him. That left-footed finish right into the corner, and well, they celebrated that one a bit more than the first goal, Adam, because they know that now they have a cushion to work from. And, well, it's not surprising to see Bayern Munich maybe starting to rethink their tactics here, because the counter-attack is so potent from Juventus. And, well, now with a 2-goal cushion, Juventus just need a bit of no-nonsense defending, and then it's as you were, 2-0 to them.
I mean, if you're a Juventus fan right now, of course, you could be watching this from one of their official channels. If you are a Juventus fan, you are looking on at a pretty beautiful performance so far from the Giants, because everything's gone according to plan. They've got that early goal. They're playing wonderful counter-attacking football. What's surprising me more than anything is Bayern Munich have struggled to really get going in the attacking third, as it's just hooked away, but they've got a chance to recycle possession. What surprised me so much, Harry, is how open Bayern Munich have been. Playing this 3-5-2, you expect them to have numbers in the box, and as the ball gets played in towards Thomas Müller, first real chance for the Germans. Now back towards Thomas Müller, chance for the goal, and it's in off the underside of the crossbar, and it's a fantastic response. After looking dead and buried for 35 minutes in this match, first real attack, and they've got a goal.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how they go in. Right now, if you're Bayern Munich, the important thing is you've halved the deficit, and it's well, previously in the match we saw a lot of no-nonsense defending, an unfortunate touch there. I think it was from Matthias de Ligt. I think, unfortunately, it was Illustrator, the man guilty of it. But, well, there is the left-footed finish from Müller. None of the Juventus players can get back to defend. And Alex Alguacil, right there in the centre of your screens, knows how important that goal could be in terms of coming back here in this game.
Absolutely. Of course, they have huge experience in the tournament. We mentioned how they won the eFootball.Pro Cup last year after, of course, the main season was disrupted by the global pandemic. Of course, certain teams managed to recover better than others. AS Monaco, I believe, were top at the time. They weren't able to reproduce in that cup competition. Bayern Munich, on the other hand, after a fairly sort of average to slow start in the main season, they of course came through brilliantly in that cup competition. So it's somewhere they've been before. They've not performed straight out of the gates before, but they've managed to turn things around, and that's what they're looking to do in this match. But they've got to be so careful, because Juventus look so potent in that attacking third. Every time they get the ball, they're looking to create a chance, and it's panic stations at the back and hacked away, I think, from Xavi Martinez in the end to deny another tap-in for Dybala. Throw in towards the near post, and Chiesa can recycle possession, and it's blocked by Art, but back in, and Chiesa nicks it off. Xavi Martinez in towards Ronaldo, saved by Manuel Neuer. What a huge save that might prove to be, right on the stroke of half-time, Harry. That really should have been 3-1.
It should have been, and the reason it isn't, the manual save from Mestre, the man on the far right of the Bayern München webcams there at the bottom, and you could see how pivotal that save was just based on the reaction from Alex Alguacil, the captain in the centre. He was very emotional there thanks to that save. That spared the blushes, and well, we know how pivotal half-time goals or just before half-time goals can be in eFootball PES. So well done to Mestre. What a save that was, and that sets us up for the second half very nicely. Some more defensive tweaks or tactical tweaks here from Bayern München as we listen into some of their players.
Yeah, we could claim that was a moment of magic, but as you mentioned, it was the triple alliteration of manual goalkeeping from Mestre using Manuel Neuer. I'm not quite sure where I was going with that. I think I knew what I meant, but of course, what the main thing of that was the fact that it was a tremendous save at a very important time, because Juventus were getting in time and time again, going wide, using that 3-5-2, and then whipping the ball inside and getting shots off from in and around the penalty spot, and it almost paid dividends again. I think we're going to see much of the same from Juventus, because it's working pretty well. Bayern Munich, to be fair, have been absolutely clinical, Harry. One shot, one goal, and they're still in this tie.
Well, sometimes that's all you need, isn't it? As they come forward here once again with Müller, as Mestre's shot is deflected. But they're looking a bit more open now on the attack, aren't they? Whatever changes they've made, Bayern Munich, it seems to be helping them out. It's giving them that extra body going forward, and again, combining that with a bit more stout defensive work, they can certainly see themselves coming back in this in game number 1. Of course, worth remembering, 2 games played between each clubs here, each worth 3 points, and 1 point for a draw, just as you would in real-world football.
Absolutely. The penalties point. Surely the referee's pointed to the spot here, and it is a penalty to Juventus. It was a really clumsy challenge, and this is the sort of chance that Juventus usually gobble up. Will history repeat itself? It's in the foot of the post from that man there, the usually unfathomable Cristiano Ronaldo, but it's back off the woodwork, and it's a chance for Bayern Munich to counter-attack now through Thomas Müller. Plays it through, it's Lewandowski, and hacked away by Juventus, but the game was almost dead and buried there. A real lifeline for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, Lo Scandalo, the man on a hat-trick, Adam, gifted the penalty and just tries to be too clinical with it. In the end, hits the post. His hat-trick goes missing.
But he's in again here. Ronaldo saved by the goalkeeper. Of course, we mentioned in the first half of the tactical changes that Bayern Munich were making, and it was very much looking like they were trying to almost copy Juventus's playing style because it was working so well for the Italians, and they needed to find something. They were losing every single 50-50, and it sort of shored things up a little bit, but it looks like they might have changed again, as we just hear from some of the players. What a chance that was, Harry. What a chance for Scandalo to start this eFootball.Pro second season off to a flyer.
Yeah, you can just hear them talking over exactly what they want to do. So some personnel changes, looks like, from the German side, and well, the Italians looking to do the same thing. You can see they're playing the same sort of formation, aren't they? 3-4-3 with a holding midfielder just protecting that back three. Let's listen to the Bayern boys.
How is your Spanish, Harry?
It's not great. I know Vamos. I know that means let's go. They need to go. 2-1 down, 62nd minute.
Oh, they've gone short again. The famous routine they've tried time and time again. This time it doesn't pay off as Morata comes on for Chiesa, who has been performing really well in the opening 60 minutes. Maybe slight fatigue coming in there because they have used him so much. Morata obviously gives them slightly different attributes, slightly different qualities. What can we see from the Spanish striker, do you think, Harry?
Well, he's one of those players that, you know, you can use him either in this midfield to set up players like McKinney, or use him as that sort of holding player just to hold up the play a little bit. And, well, if I'm Juventus, maybe he isn't the type of player that you want to use in that sort of latter example. You want him in the midfield, maybe pulling the strings. You want him, you know, trying to get runs in behind, because so far the counter-attack is where Juventus have had all their success. But for me, the key is defensively. Juventus have looked very strong. We're so used to seeing Bayern Munich just put teams to the sword. They have not looked their very best here so far in the opener of the eFootball.Pro 2021 season.
No, it's certainly one they're going to have to work on if they are to come out of this first game with a defeat. Of course, what's been interesting from a Juventus point of view is that they just keep attacking as the ball comes back off the goalkeeper. Looked like he claimed that, but he's fumbled it and has had to play for a needless corner. Yeah, Juventus have been going really for this killer third goal with just 15 minutes to go. After missing that penalty, you might think they might sink back and try and defend their lead, thinking it might not be their day in front of goal anymore, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But almost in the contrary, they're making themselves a little bit more open. Is this surprising for you, Harry?
Well, I mean, they might concede here, and luckily there is a player across. That's Esterito, the captain, whose co-op bar you can see in the bottom left, all the way just one bar away from maximum so far. So he's had a really good game, not only defensively but also setting up Lo Scandalo for one of his goals as well.
Absolutely, and we're seeing a real captain's performance almost from Esterito. Do you feel that Alex is the main go-to man in a moment of crisis for Bayern Munich?
I think so. I think so. I mean, he's the one that you expect to put in the big performances. I believe we're just listening to Juventus now, so maybe we should hear what the Italians have to say. And just as I say that, Adam, they stopped talking, so obviously quietly confident there from the Italians, and they have reason to be so far as well. 10 more minutes of a decent defensive performance, and maybe another attack on the counter where Bayern Munich start to commit bodies forward, and you're starting this eFootball.Pro season off with a win.
Yeah, it's certainly something they've got to consider, but here's a real chance for Bayern Munich, and again, as if by magic, second shot, second goal. This is done. Attacking, clinical nature to their performance here, Harry. And I'm a bit lost for words because I don't feel like Bayern Munich have been in this game, and that goes to show the professionalism.
The professionalism and the routines from Bayern Munich. I watched them do it so often throughout the eFootball.Pro Cup, from throw-ins, looking for Lewandowski. This time it's headed down by a man in the middle, and who's there on the far post? Of course it's Xerxes. And look at what it means, the frustration from going 2 down, now back up to 2-2 is all to play for in these final 10 minutes. And well, you'd say the momentum certainly on the side of the Bavarian club. What happens next?
Absolutely. I mean, a huge turning point will be talked about, of course, if the score remains the same or if Bayern Munich go on to win this game. Is that missed penalty, of course. So we just hear some of the players again there looking to G up their fellow teammates for the remaining 9 minutes plus stoppage time. But it is Bayern Munich who are now in the ascendancy. They sense there might be something special here after being second best for large periods of this match. As it's out towards McKennie on this left-hand side. Juventus almost have to start from the beginning again, as all advantage has been wiped away. But they've got to be so careful, because Bayern Munich are on the front foot looking to take all 3 points now in this first match day. And it's Juventus that are hanging on, and this is why we love the game so much. Whipped in towards that near post. Oh, what a defensive header that is from Bonucci, I think. I'm not sure who was controlling it. I think it might have been Lascandalo, who's now controlling De Ligt. Now, Lewandowski again. Such a danger. The shriek from Alex there, it sounded like, as he knew that was a huge chance. And it's all Bayern Munich. The question is, do they continue or do they consolidate and take the point? And it looks like the latter may well indeed be the case, because for 80 minutes or so they've been second best, and this would be a slight get out of jail, but they could still go and win it right at the death. It's in towards Lewandowski, saved by the goalkeeper, still chance for Lewandowski, can't turn it home, and it's now Juventus that are hanging on for dear life here, as it's Xerxes the super sub in towards Lewandowski again. Another save. The question was that manual goalkeeping or not, because it looked very much similar to what we saw in that opening 45-minute save from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, Torito tried to shift him across, didn't need to in the end, didn't get there in time, but well, there's still a chance, there's time left for one last routine.
This routine, unfortunately, on this occasion, doesn't quite come off. Deep into the final few seconds here, in a titanic battle between these two juggernaut clubs. Bayern Munich 2, Juventus 2. Is there one final throw of the dice from Bayern Munich? It's hacked away. The referee brings the second half to an end, and it's finished here. Bayern Munich 2, Juventus 2, but that only tells one side of the story, Harry.
Yeah, we use the cliche often, don't we? A tale of two halves. I think, I mean, going into half-time, 2-1, I believe it was, as we see some of the co-op points. Etorito having a fantastic game for Juventus all round. And I think that just sort of speaks to the testament, doesn't it, of the ability of the men on your screen right now, Bayern Munich. Not only them, of course, Juventus as well, coming out of the blocks so fast, but just seemed to be that sort of mid to late game where they struggled to really put the Bavarians to the sword. I mean, you think about that Los Scandalo penalty. Yes, he opens his account with 2 goals in the opening game, but it could have been a hat-trick. At that point, it's 3-1, Adam, and well, the game's probably out of sight at that point. So those 2 goals probably they don't mean too much now for Los Scandalo. He much would have preferred the 3 points and, of course, the 3 goals as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the penalty miss, which of course was a huge turning point at 2-1. It galvanised Bayern Munich, and Juventus did begin to shrink back into their shell, but there was another huge moment at the end of that first half, and the save, the manual save from Bayern Munich, I can't remember who actually was on the end of the save, but as we're just seeing highlights of that first goal turned home by Dybala and Lascandalo, but you're definitely thinking, if you're a Juventus fan, that was in the bag.
Yeah, you would be ruining the chance missed to take all 3 points in that game one. But at the same time, it's like we said at the top of the show, Adam, we fully expect these two football clubs to be towards the top end of the eFootball.Pro table come the end of the season. So the important thing is you don't lose points to your immediate rival in this match, at least in game one. And it sets us up perfectly, doesn't it, for a game two here, as both clubs no doubt will be wanting to try and right the mistakes from that first match. Obviously, Bayern Munich want to start a little bit quicker than they did in that first game, and well, Juventus will be hoping they can be a bit more solid towards the latter end of the match as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got a feeling that both of these two clubs, looking at the fixture list when it came out, eyebrows would have been raised at this opening kickoff fixture for both of them, and they would have known going into it that possibly 2 points or 1 win and 1 defeat, 3 points apiece, is not a terrible result in the scheme of things. They will be, on paper, easier tasks ahead, and like you said, the key here is to not really give any advantage to clearly a huge rival for the competition as a whole.
Yeah, maybe not the massive statement that you want to put out to the rest of the league if you're either of these two clubs in that first game. Obviously, we know the strengths and weaknesses of these players on the virtual stage right now. I was about to say up on the stage, but of course they're playing from their facilities wherever they may be. You do want to be chasing clubs like AS Monaco, who, as we saw at the top of the show in the VT, that everyone seems to be worried about. They're still considered favourites. They are back-to-back eFootball.Pro regular season champions are AS Monaco. So now it's time to just see if either of these two clubs can get things done. And, well, as we said before, make that statement to the rest of the league. Say that, hey, maybe we should be feared as well. 3 points in this game, 2 here, Adam, would be a great way to start making other clubs think that way about you as well.
Yeah, I mean, how important do you think, Harry, the miss from Lascandale from the penalty, how much do you think that's going to affect his mental state? Because, of course, he is joining a new team, performing absolutely sensational up to that point. But, of course, you can't be missing chances like that at this level, can you? Especially not hitting the target.
Certainly not. I mean, he hit the post. He obviously tried to tuck it right in the corner, didn't he? But yeah, as our pundit Wes has been talking to us on the sidelines, he says, yeah, you can't be missing penalties like that, especially on a hat-trick to put the game away for your team and make it certain. You cannot be missing that. To answer your question, we're about to see if he's the consummate professional we fully expect him to be here in this game too. He's got to shake it off, and he's got to put on a similar performance here in game number 2 against Bayern Munich. Otherwise, well, the Bavarians, as we said before, finished that last game so strongly, they could be a real threat here in game 2.
Yeah, the question is, how do Bayern Munich approach this second game? Do they approach it like they did the first and be quite reserved and balanced and just easing themselves into the game? Or do we see the second half Bayern Munich that were much more of an attacking threat in that final third and taking the game to Juventus? It certainly feels like it's the latter so far, as they've had quite a lot of possession, and it's been in the Juventus half as Lewandowski pops it off to Koolman, and then another chance to recycle possession back to Lewandowski, who was such a threat in that second half, and it's in towards half, and now it's Thomas Müller, saved by the goalkeeper. A huge moment in this match, and you would put your house on Thomas Müller, a player of that stature, especially in the air, putting that into the back of the net. But Juventus can't get out here, camped inside the penalty box. Harry, that was a huge chance. Should have scored.
A huge chance and a huge save as well from Eterito, I think it was. I'm not sure if he got Szczesny across in time or whether or not, again, it was a case of just a little bit too late. But yeah, you should be putting those away. Just watch out for Bayern Munich when they get to the byline, trying to play that pass inside. It helped them out so much in the latter stages of the first game.
Again, looking for that man, Thomas Müller, who's been ever present in the opening 15 minutes of this match. And I'm pretty sure that Juventus are a little bit shell-shocked at the moment. This is a different look to the Bayern Munich team in this second game from what we saw at the start of the first. As Xavi Martinez Plays it up towards Arp. They just can't get out here, Juventus. It's all Bayern Munich. It's Thomas Müller again. Oh, he was pushed aside by the challenge referee, unmoved, as Lewandowski now finds Koeman. Back to Lewandowski again down the left-hand side. Chance to whip it in with his left foot. Blocked by the defender, and Szczesny now has the chance to clear downfield. A big start from Bayern Munich, but crucially, Harry, still 0-0.
Yeah, still 0-0. You can tell the tactics from Bayern München so far, as we said before, just try and work the overlaps. That time Lewandowski, the man you probably expect to be in the 6-yard box, to try and tap those ones home on the wing that time round. They're going to try and go for an overlap here as well, as it will be Ildis Traore. The man who's been pretty quiet so far across these 2 games, to clear that one away, and now maybe a chance for a first attack here in the opening 25 minutes here from Juventus. It's been a little lacklustre from them so far. Hopefully they can get a bit more of a foothold here in the game, so that we can see a bit more of a competitive contest, because so far it seems Bayern Munich just seem to have their number.
Yeah, it's hard to see here from up in the gantry whether it's simply the press from Bayern Munich which is causing Juventus problems, or whether Juventus themselves have changed tactics and just decided to be slightly more on the back foot, trying to soak up a bit of possession and almost playing Bayern Munich at their own game in the second half of the first game, as Manuel Neuer now claims and hunts downfield up towards the halfway line. 29 minutes on the clock. Still Juventus 0, Bayern Munich 0. Sarr on this right-hand side. Now Arp has the chance to play it back to Sarr. Lovely 1-2 there. He's got numbers in the box. Oh, he's gone through the legs with a nutmeg. Lewandowski, and that is an absolutely incredible header from Robert Lewandowski. He cannot stop scoring at the moment, both virtual and in real life. What a goal.
What a goal, and a great one for the captain, Jose, to open his account for the season. Bayern Munich starting to really put paid to this opening pressure. Attempt at a double touch there, excuse me, from Mestre, I think it was, which led to the defender stumbling. I think the referee has played an advantage there for Sarr. Like you say, lovely skill. Bit fortunate maybe to come away with the ball, but well, Jose is never going to miss from there, is he? Wonderful feeling for all of the Bayern München players now, I believe, who have a goal to their name so far in the eFootball.Pro season. Perfect start for them, and that will give them a world of confidence going forwards.
Absolutely. They call this a team sport, a team e-sport, and of course getting a goal apiece is certainly a good way to do that and prove that, as they've got the goal that really their pressure and possession fully deserved, Harry.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think the objective now for Juventus is try and find that immediate response, just like Bayern Munich did in the 41st minute of that first game. Try and get the response that can just put you on a bit more of a pedestal going into the second half of this game too, because so far it's been all Bayern Munich, and well, there's a chance here. Yeah,
just stifled out there by the German giants as Xavi Martinez. Now one back by Cuadrado, just got a little bit scrappy, and I think this will play into Bayern Munich's hands, as Juventus love to play that attacking, free-flowing football as it's in towards Ronaldo. Can't get on the end of it, and everything just feels a little bit rushed, a little bit forced at the moment from a Juventus point of view.
Yeah, I don't know if you actually saw there that flashed up at the bottom. The stats so far for this first match day: 1 goal, 1 assist for every single member of the Bayern Munich team. And it's like you said before, it's a team sport, but this is a complete team, and it's the same Bayern Munich team that we're seeing that did so well in the eFootball.Pro Cup in the summer. They're continuing their form here as well.
Just 1 minute remaining in the first half. Juventus 0, Bayern Munich 1. This will be a really impressive and well-earned 4 points if they're able to get it for Bayern Munich. But of course, we know in this wonderful game that until that final whistle comes, you're not certain of anything, because especially at this level, any of these teams are capable of mustering that little moment of magic as Sarr controls the ball on the halfway line, and the referee brings the first half to an end. And as much as we've seen and felt the domination from Bayern Munich, number one, they had less possession, and number two, only the one goal to show for it. Is that the incentive that Juventus need, Harry?
Yeah, that's the target right now, isn't it? That's the objective. That's the thing that you cling to. The fact that you're only one goal down. I mean, a moment of magic from any of these three Italians representing Juventus here certainly could turn the tide of this entire second half. You can see them there just kind of pondering about what they should do personnel-wise.
You can see two Eteritos.
They have the...
That's something.
I don't know if that's a sort of employed tactic of them, maybe cloning the two-time world champion. But I mean, it'd be nice if you could do it. Of course, MVP of match day 2, Eterito, and MVP of the eFootball.Pro Cup knockout stage first day as well earlier on in the year. So they have the players and the caliber of player to do it. It's just about getting it done now, isn't it, for Juventus? Just getting that first goal back could change the entire complexion of this game too.
So it is Juventus who have possession down on this left-hand touchline as Chiesa goes down under the pressure from Robert Lewandowski, the goal scorer. A towering header, and of course, having someone like that in a stat-balanced game is very important, Harry.
Of course, huge stature, has those physical attributes that you definitely want, and as we've said before, he's been a focal point of the attack from Bayern München, often subbed off when he gets a little bit leggy out there, but you'll see from throw-ins, from corners, he's always the one they target, and well, no doubt Thomas Muller here on this near side will try and find him once again.
It is Sarr who was instrumental in that first goal. Again, they've used that throw-in routine. Lewandowski with the flick on. It's worked time and time again. Juventus just managed to survive now. But it's back out to Sarr again. And it's in towards Lewandowski. Gets the chest down and just runs it a little bit too far past the goalkeeper and couldn't turn it home. But worrying signs here for Juventus.
Yeah, they're just parting like the Red Sea, aren't they? At the back. Really, really unfortunate not to finish that one off. I think it was Mestre, was it, controlling Lewandowski, or might have been Alex actually making the run, but defensively Juventus look very, very frail, and possession-wise they just haven't been able to keep hold of the ball, have they? We're just missing that little bit of discipline from the club from Turin, and hopefully, well, we'll see a bit more of a mature performance from them, because so far every time they try and attack, it's almost like they're forcing it, Adam. We use that term so much, forcing the ball, but they're not just taking that extra second to find the man over or the runner, or even go backwards sometimes is what's necessary. We need to see more of that here from Juventus, otherwise, well, they're staring down the barrel of a gun.
Well, there's a chance here for Ronaldo towards the back post, and it's turned home. It's an own goal because he knew that Chiesa was waiting at the back post. He couldn't take the chance, but equally, he couldn't get the ball under control, and he couldn't clear it. And he's bundled the ball home, and it's the equaliser that they desperately needed, but possibly didn't quite deserve going at this moment.
Yeah, feel for Mestre there, just trying to clear the ball away. We use the term forcing it. This is one of the times you absolutely want to force it. When you put the ball in a dangerous area like that, there is always a chance that a defensive mistake can happen. Wonderful, wonderful identification of the danger area. And there you go. There's the confirmation. Own goal by Mestre. Don't think those count in the eFootball.Pro leaderboards. So, well, I mean, there you go. Like we said,
there, so it would suggest that he's doing pretty well.
He's still having a good game, but like we said, that one goal can turn the complexion of this entire game too. It's as you were. It almost feels like next goal wins, but obviously we still have another half an hour to play.
Yeah, it also feels like a mirror image of the first game. A game that was hugely dominated in the opening period by Juventus. They probably should have gone at least 2 goals in front, and they were made to pay. And now the shoe's on the other foot. Bayern Munich have bossed large parts of this game, and now it's Juventus who are in the ascendancy as Ronaldo goes down under a heavy challenge from Koeman, and a chance to whip this ball into the danger area as they go to the settings or substitutes bench? What would you like to see here, Harry, from the two teams? Would you like to see personnel changes or maybe just tweak the tactics a little bit?
Well, you can see on the left-hand side there from Bayern München's perspective, both formations, mirror image. I mean, those three centre forwards, you know, that four-man midfield again with that one man just covering the back three. Seems to be, I don't know whether or not this is sort of posturing from both teams, but let's have a little listen to what Juventus are saying.
No, te se perdi palla poco.
Se perdi palla, colloca.
Mentre ancora lasciamo battere.
Definitely a popular formation from these top teams, but also the fact that they are mirroring each other. It's another example of how they, you know, respect each other, because they know that if they try something a little bit different, they could be made to pay. As the ball gets whipped in towards the back post and a chance to head it away. The foot race between Sane and Cuadrado is won by Cuadrado, and now Dybala has the chance to cross it in, but won back by Sane. Now Koeman leads the charge out towards Thomas Müller. Now Lewandowski can't quite get on the end of it, and Juventus come again. They're just starting to put a stranglehold on this game, and Bayern Munich need to break out of it and break out of it quickly. As Lewandowski now turns provider possibly on this left-hand side. He needs to be in the middle as it's cleared up towards the halfway line. It's got all a little bit scrappy now as we head towards the final third of an all-important moment of this match. Do they go for the jugular and go for that hugely important incentive of the additional 2 points for the 3-point win, or stick with a 1 point and finish as the ball gets deflected through? Thomas Müller surely turns it home, and it's a really, really scrappy goal, but they will not.
Vamos.
Oh, vamos is the call. They are very happy about how that goal went in. Like you say, scrappy, but it doesn't matter. They all count the same. Not sure who it was that got the final touch, but I feel for Eterito, especially after doing so well with Matthias de Ligt moments previous. It's just wrong-footed, the goalkeeper, isn't it? I think it was actually a defensive deflection. We'll see it here again in a second. That just wrong foots him. Either that, or it's the goalkeeper that palms it. He does get a touch, doesn't he? Onto the man controlling Müller, and well, there it is. The emotion once more. It's Mestre, I believe it is, who turned the own goal in moments previous. Has now got a goal for the correct team, and it's 2-1 to Bayern München.
Yeah, you mentioned how similar it was to the first game. It was almost a carbon copy. The ball turned towards goal and deflected into the net, of course, in the first game, but deflected into the path of Thomas Müller for an easy tap in the second. And what would be considered great defending on another day if the ball was cleared looks a little bit foolish, unfortunately, as it just rolls easily for Thomas Müller. You saw from the stats there that Lewandowski is looking pretty fatigued now. They've used him an awful lot, haven't they, Harry? What a huge player for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, huge player, huge player, and they of course all know the strengths and weaknesses of the updated squads, of course, for the new season. The transfers have come in, and it's 3 substitutes made from Juventus, all 3 attacking players. So we'll see if that gives them the little bit of zip that they need going forwards, because well, they have 20 in-game minutes, and well, if they can obviously get another goal back, then we're set up perfectly for the final 10 or so. But obviously they have to get the goal in the back of the net first.
They absolutely have to. It's in towards McKennie, challenged by Koeman, and up towards the halfway line. De Ligt now plays it across, and Juventus looking to press now in this final 50 minutes, which I know we're only in match day 1, but this would really put a marker down from a Bayern Munich point of view. If they could come out of this with 4 points after struggling for 60, 70 minutes of that opening match, this will be some achievement, as Chesney now dives on the ball. What would you like to see from Juventus now, Harry? What do they need to do to turn this game?
Well, you can't win the game without the ball, and giving away the ball like that is just not going to be a recipe for success. You need to have a bit better in terms of ball retention if you're the Italians here, because you have little time to play with. We know how clinical Bayern can be from throw-ins, from corners. That's going to be their aim going forward. Just get the ball out of play in the final third, play a bit of territory, and well, as long as they keep the ball, Juventus, they don't have a chance to attack.
So, a hugely important 10 minutes in Juventus's first match day one, as the ball gets played down towards McKennie, whipped in towards the back post, hooked away by Leroy Sané of all people, not known for his defending necessarily, usually in that attacking third, but he's really putting in a shift for his team today. Again, Mestre having one of the games of his life so far, Harry.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. Defensively, he has been particularly impressive. Tackle moments previous, I think Juventus will be a bit aggrieved that they didn't at least get advantage there for obstruction, but it was Mestre sliding in. He did just take the ball out of play, but obviously he has 2 goals on the season now. Let's have a little listen to what Bayern Munich have to say as they look to close this one out.
Y arriba haciendo apoyo en cuanto la saquemos, porque no sea como mi error este último, ¿eh? Vamos, vamos.
Vale. Vamos, chavales, hay que
Change
sacarlo.
of
Vamos.
by
Fuerte,
Bayern Munich.
Vamos.
2 up front, so they've dropped one player back into that midfield, making themselves far more compact and more difficult to break down. Question is, will it be enough? As McKennie now challenged by... Oh no, the referee's given a free kick by the looks of things in a very dangerous position. It looked a little bit of a 50-50 to me. But it sided with Juventus. This is whipped in towards the back post. Headed down. Chance for Ronaldo. And just like that, we have an equalising goal. And what a time to get it, Harry.
What a time indeed. It's Lo Scandalo again, I believe. Wonderful header down here from Il Distratore, right into the path of the man who has scored all of Juventus' goals so far, apart from that own goal, of course, they scored in this game. Lo Scandalo. Well, that sets up this final period of the match massively. Bayern Munich, of course, taking that player away from the top of the pitch. They might think about putting him back up top if they want to take all 3 points, or whether or not they might just bank on their defensive ability. But, well, Juventus, what a time to get a goal. So far, after 85 minutes, the exact same result that we saw in Game 1. 2-2.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And we were talking about how crucial set pieces were for these two teams. Another brilliantly executed one from a Juventus point of view. There was almost a gasp or a sigh of despair around the stadium as the free kick was awarded, because all of the Bayern Munich fans knew that they could be in trouble as the ball gets played in and it's whipped towards the near post. It wouldn't have counted anyway as the offside flag was raised. But for a moment there, it looked like that might have been that elusive winner. But 89 minutes. Juventus 2, Bayern Munich 2. The exact same score as the first game. We've seen two hugely impressive teams, both not only going out of the blocks early and hitting on the front foot respectively in the two games, but their ability to respond as well has been very, very impressive. And possibly, in the scheme of things, a draw might be a fair result, but Juventus have one final chance here as the referee awards another free kick in another dangerous position. It's like deja vu. We've been here before, but this time Bayern Munich defend brilliantly, heroically, like warriors out on the plains, as Thomas Müller gets the block in, but Morata recycles possession. De Ligt, will they go for one final chance to snatch all 3 points? All eyes on the fourth official and the referee as they have communication about that final whistle. Out towards the edge of there, and nobody there until McKennie comes in. Right foot shot, high, wide, and not so handsome. Was that a chance, Harry, or was that a half chance?
Oh, it could have been a chance with just a bit more composure there, but you can see in the top left, only 6 minutes added on. We've gone past that allocated time now, so it will finish 2-2 between Juventus and Bayern Munich in Game 2. Maybe a bit more composure there needed from Ildis Rittori, I think it was. Just went for that long-range strike from McKinney. We see them sometimes go into the top corner, and if it had, we would have been praising the brilliance, but maybe just needed to take a touch there and try and find an open teammate. But on the whole, Adam, I think fair result, to be honest with you. I mean, both teams know they had chances to win in not only Game 1, but also Game 2 as well. So maybe the points shared is a fair result. We'll hear from the players in just a moment, of course, but by my eyes, 2-2, both games seem pretty fair.
Yeah, I can't really disagree. When you have two giants drawing both games by 2-2, it's really difficult to say that one team or the other deserved all 3 points in either of the games, because it was almost mirror image, wasn't it? You know, Juventus came out of the blocks early in the first game. This is, of course, highlights of the second game, as the first goal from Lewandowski, the lovely double touch again from, I think, Sarr on that right-hand side. Just sneaked through the legs almost, a cheeky little nutmeg, and I think the referee might have been pointing to the spot had they not gone on to get that goal, because it definitely looked like an infringement. But a stunning header from Lewandowski there, and the celebrations all round, because they knew that was an important goal at that moment. They'd bossed large periods, but Juventus did really well, Harry, didn't they, to turn this game again twice.
Yeah, they did. Two very similar teams, I think, in terms of how they play. They both have physical front men, and they like to obviously exploit that through throw-ins and corners, and we saw it for that final goal from Juventus from that free kick, which will be highly contentious, of course. I think Bayern München will be a bit disappointed that they gave the free kick away in the first place, but maybe it could have been a case of the two teams just cancelling out each other's play style. We see that often in PES. You know, styles make matchups, and well, we could have seen more goals than we did. But again, I think the sharing of the points is fairly accurate in terms of a final result between these two clubs. And as I said before, both clubs will feel like they could have come home with all 6 points in this matchup.
Absolutely, and of course, in the scheme of things, opening match day where a few things aren't going to go necessarily all your own way, and there's a few teething issues, I'm sure, for both camps to iron out over the course of a season. They're not going to be perfect at this stage. Two draws, 2 points on the board apiece. Do you think they'd be happy with that?
Yeah, I think so. You have to remember 3 things, of course. One, you are playing against direct rivals here who you expect to be in the top 3 come the end of the season alongside you. The second thing is you're still getting used to the new squads that you have at your disposal this season with the uniform ratings. And of course, third, you are playing online, so it's a different environment, something to adjust to. And this will be a good first match day, I think, for these two teams.
Absolutely, and word in the ear is that we do have word from a couple of the players from both sets of teams. I think we're starting with Bayern Munich. Harry, what's the mood in the camp? How did they think that one went?
Well, let's find out. Boys, can you hear me? Bayern München, congratulations on those 2 games. Obviously not the result you would have wanted, but talk to me about those 2 games, of course. Alex, I think we should start with you. A 2-2 across both games. Do you think that's a fair result?
Que no está mal, chicos.
No está mal.
I'm hearing that they cannot hear me, so maybe we'll go back to Adam and speak a little bit more about that game. Of course, we are still online, working from home, Adam. These things happen.
The beauty of this current
difficulties. It's beautiful, isn't it? I can't just be stood next to these wonderful players and talking to them eye to eye. So technology, who'd have it?
I'm just going to have to apologise that the lovely people at home are going to be watching more of my ugly face when they could have been listening to some of the players. But hopefully you'll get a little bit of enjoyment out of the fact that we will continue to, of course, talk about that game. And Harry, how do you think how do you think Bayern Munich would respond going into match day 2 after possibly looking to win that second game? Oh,
I
no,
think
we
it's
are
an
just
interesting
hearing we're
one,
going to
isn't it?
go
Because-
possibly to listen to Juventus. I think they should be ready. So, Harry, hopefully, fingers crossed, we have some action from those guys now. And if not, it'll be back on me again.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Juventus, Ettore, can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah,
Thank
listening.
goodness. 2-2 in both games. Are you happy with that result? Obviously, you had chances to maybe see out that first game. Are you happy with taking 2 points away from Bayern München?
Yeah, it was very critical games. Maybe the first one we missed a lot of chance, the penalty too, and so we're a little bit sad about the first match. But the second one was okay to draw. So yeah, we are happy at all.
Talk to me a little bit about Lo Scandalo, of course, started on the team last season. He's got himself 3 goals already. He looks really, really strong this season. Is he expected to be maybe your main goal scorer this season, or do you expect yourself and, of course, Luca to come in and chime in with some goals as well?
Oh, really don't know. We just play for the team. If anyone have a chance to pass the ball, we did it because it's not important which one is the first in the table. But well, if Renzo win the total scorer, will be happy for us.
Of course. Next week, or next match day, I should say, you have a bit of a break now, of course, over the winter. You next play Galatasaray on match day 2. Talk to me about them. They're, of course, a new club with new players in the league as well. Are you going to approach Galatasaray differently than maybe you did for Bayern München here today?
Well, I think will be a difficult game too with Galatasaray. We need to try maybe to have some accuracy 1 versus 1 with the goalkeeper maybe, and yeah, I think we have the same formation or same view because we played good versus the champion of eFootball.Pro Cup, so we are proud of this and just a little bit training more, and that's all.
Well, you have the winter break now, of course, to maybe settle some of those issues. Ettore, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the 2 points, and we'll see you again for match day 2. Thank you very much. Adam,
Thank you.
pretty good result from Juventus there.
Yeah, I think all things considered, they should be very, very happy with the fact that they've got off the mark, number one, very, very difficult, first game in those sorts of situations. Worst case scenario, you could end with none and give 6 points to your opposition. So I think 2 points apiece is completely fine. I think from the sounds of it, he was a little bit disappointed in that first game. They could have possibly put that game to bed quicker. But yeah, nice to see anyway, them in good spirits. I think I'm not sure whether we're going to go to Bayern Munich again for the second one, or we're going to go straight on to the next game. We are going to go